Welcome to One More Thing, a podcast like no other. I'm Kyle Thompson, coach, speaker, and turnaround artist, driven by enthusiasm and fueled by passion in everything I do.
And I'm Tori Barker, creative engineer and marketing guru. You're about to experience a podcast that will challenge you to think, reflect, laugh, and grow.
Come along with us as we share stories that will inspire you to be the best version of you.
It's all about embracing change and the power of transformation.
Know we believe in you. We've got your back. You've got this.
All that we ask of you is to show up with an open mind and an enthusiastic heart.
So sit down, buckle up, and hold on. Welcome back.
Welcome back to episode 3, part 2. And today we are going to cover the second half of the topic on living your dreams and pursuing your passion. And in this episode, we are going to talk about embracing your natural gifts. And we're going to give you 5 steps to discover and or recover your passion.
Amen. Amen. The quote that we left you with is the quote that we want to start with, and that is as follows. We'd given you a task, if you remember in the first segment, to kind of dig down deep. Hope you've had a chance to do that. If you haven't, get to it. Yeah. It's important and necessary as it relates to this entire rest of the podcast. But more importantly, it was as follows, and it's from my brother. Do not dismiss what you do and what comes to you naturally. Our inclination is to make light of or dismiss it on our own behalf. For what reason, I have no idea. But recognize that your gift is your gift and share it with the world. And not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
And if they could, they would. So they come to you because that is what they are missing. So you're doing a disservice to yourself. You're doing a disservice to people who love you. You're doing a disservice to the world. Go shine. And shine bright and strong and long.
Yes.
Right?
I love that. It just reminded me of a song.
Yeah.
I won't
Are we writing a song?
Into song? No.
I am not going to sing. I'll dance, but I am not going to sing. Not a chance. So we started with that, but more importantly, we thought, you know what? If we're asking you to do the exercise, then we need to do it as well and share with you maybe how. And we were able to share stories just a little while ago as to what was very important to us at a time that we reflected back on, which is what we had asked of you. So in this next segment, what we're going to do is we're going to ask each other, what are your passions, and your pursuits? And are you doing them or are you not? So Tori, did you want to go ahead and share your passions and pursuits and how that's kind of aligned or not aligned with you? Yeah. Here we go.
So when we were thinking about this topic and I was reflecting on my passions, I wrote down 3 things. And the first was helping people. I'm very passionate about helping people. And the second was creativity, being creative. I'm passionate about any way that I can be creative. And then thirdly is really a combination of the two. Putting that together and using my creativity to help somebody and give them something that's going to speak and resonate with them. So those are my 3, helping people, being creative, and then creatively helping people. And so am I living that? I think I am. I'm really, at this point, starting my own business, creative marketing. I'm really doing that. I'm doing just that. I am taking the opportunity to utilize my creativity and explore new ideas, new tasks, and new ways to be creative. And by doing so, I'm helping people. Mm-hmm. And it takes me back to, that childhood self, that leadership. I was exploring my leadership in my younger years, and that's really come back full circle. And I'm leading my not team, but leading my
people, your clients,
my clients, and guiding them and giving them recommendations and being a leader in that way. So,
and Tori does it in such a fashion that it never feels like it's condescending, which is again a rare quality. We talked a little bit about the education piece for her because it's so essential and such a big part of who she is. But, oftentimes I guarantee that there are people who naturally want to educate themselves because that's very important, and I acknowledge and appreciate that. But Tori likes to equally educate people as she's getting educated. So I'm throwing education into that piece too. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'm going to tell her. I'll tell you what your pursuits are. I'll tell you what your passions are. That's just my way. Okay.
So
yes.
what's yours?
Mine? Alrighty. So here we go. So my passions. I guess I should go back to my father, who, when I was 10 was very instrumental for me. My father told me when I was 10, listen, I don't care what you do, but you need 3 things. You need an audience, you need a microphone, and you need a stage. So,
A microphone.
Microphone, Dad, microphone. And you're the audience, whether you like it or not, you're the audience. But I have, my passion is I love coaching. I love speaking. I love inspiring people. I love elevating them to a place that they never thought that they could get to, that they matter, that they're valued, and that they have something greater to contribute, and achieving things they never thought possible. Feeds my soul until I could bust. The one thing I have to be very cognizant of is I'm kind of an energy vortex. Yeah. So people are attracted like barnacles to a whale. And those people, in terms of the ones that aren't good, the parasites are the negative people. So I have to be very careful because they're
like
the ones.
Octopus.
Yes. It's like, remember, what was that movie that they just did where they had all of the different emotions, and it was the little girl, it was the girl, and there was the really sad one, and she was blue, and every time she attached to somebody, everybody started to turn blue, and I thought, oh God, I just cannot do that. So listen, people go through sad times, I get it, but when you make it a way of life, you have to get yourself away from people. So during the process of all of this, for all of you, we task you with that. Please make sure that you're surrounded by people who don't dismiss your passion. I don't care how crazy you think it sounds, but if you get somebody who goes, oh, you don't want to do that. No, that's not good. That's more about them than that is about you. Absolutely. So just make sure that you stay true to who you are. Yeah. So that is my passion. Am I pursuing that? After my cancer, I certainly am. I'm coaching, I'm speaking, I'm consulting. I consider myself, my older brother said, you're a turnaround artist. So I love taking low performing or people who think that there's no way out or they can't do any better, elevating them to a place that they never thought possible. And everybody had dismissed it or said, no, that's who I am in a nutshell.
And you're phenomenal at it. You are phenomenal at it.
I'm done. Thank you. Mic drop. Thank you, Tori. That $40 helps when you tip. Makes a big difference.
Tips are welcome.
Well, very welcome. Very welcome here. So we'll put a little tip jar in there so you can do that. I don't know how that, it's not Bitcoin. We don't want any of that. But in terms of deciding this, there was a great quote that I told Tori that I had to share because I love it. And it came from You Are a Badass, which is a great book by Jen Sincero. If you haven't read it, the one about You're a Badass at Making Money is equally good. So pick it up if you haven't picked that one up either. But my favorite quote of hers, one of them, is deciding what you're going to do and pursuing your passion and identifying it. You've gone through the exercise and you're like, well, now what do I do with this? Decide on it and make that commitment. But deciding means jumping in all the way, doing whatever it takes, and going after your dreams with the tenacity of a dateless cheerleader a week before prom night. I love that. I totally love that. And everybody gets an image and thinks, oh yeah, I remember what that was like.
I know that girl.
I know I do. I was that girl. What am I talking? Cheerleader? Oh, I was a song leader. Yes. Well, I was. Okay, so now we're digressing, but sorry. I was a jock during high school, loved sports, but I went out and I would watch the girls that would be song leaders and they did the dance routines. That's, I know they're called something else now, it's just dance team, but
dance team.
I looked at those girls and I thought, I can dance, I can do this. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm trying out. Well, every time I got farther and farther along, and so I got past that, and then I went to the rally. I wore a jock t-shirt, so my coaches thought it was a joke. Oh. I made it. I asked my softball coach afterward. I said, how do you think I did, Miss James? She goes, unfortunately, really well. She was not happy. I felt completely naked in those little outfits and short skirts. All of my friends who are watching this, who were fellow cheerleaders, know. And my legs look like Earl Campbell's. If nobody knows I walk by these two guys after they're going to a freshman rally, and I recognize the sophomore. I'm a senior. He's walking down the stairs at Bella Vista High School. I'm walking up the stairs. These are the things that happen to me. This is no kidding. It's like I'm getting punked my entire life. And I'm in that uniform thinking, I feel a little naked, even though I was in shorts. Shorts that were ridiculous in volleyball and basketball and softball. But I walk up the stairs. I greet both of them. Sophomore says, "Hi, Kyle. This is so-and-so, and he's a freshman." And I go, "Oh, are you going to the freshman rally?" And he said, "I certainly am." And I said, "Well, I look forward to seeing you there." They are not even out of earshot going past me as I say goodbye to them. And the freshman looks at the sophomore and goes, "Jesus Christ, did you see the legs on that cheerleader?" Yeah, Earl Campbell. I could have probably been subbed in for the football team. I'm sure.
That was in high school?
That was high school.
Wow.
Frightening.
So I had a cheerleading stint. I know. It was when I was 10 years old. Yes? It was like elementary school. I was not a good cheerleader. And I remember we had these homemade uniforms.
Oh,
I don't know why, but my mom, of course, is very crafty and sews. So my mom made our uniforms.
Oh.
And we had the t-shirts and we would do the, rallies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was not good. I mean, I could dance and I was coordinated, but I wasn't good. So that was a short moment of my cheerleading career.
Well, you and I would have shared something in common because when we were cheering and I would always look around at the girls and they go, "Kyle, you're sweating. You're supposed to glisten." And I go, "Listen, I'm not glistening. I don't glisten. I don't do any of that." But the other thing that we would have had, and I suspect you did as well, was when we would turn around and watch the game, the girls are all kind of turning around and looking at who's looking at them. I'm screaming, "Get that guy!" And I'm thinking, oh my God, the referees would kind of look back and think, there's something seriously wrong with her. That is not the first time I've heard that either.
I loved Powder Puff in high school.
Yes.
That was fun because I got to be the football player.
That a girl. See how we digressed into cheerleading?
I know.
It's actually our passion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, have you seen the movie with Diane Keaton?
Yes, the Pom. I haven't seen it. Is it called Pom?
Something where she is in a retirement community and she starts a cheerleading
Be careful,
club.
Tori, because I'm very close to that age. Now I need to go get... And my friends, anyone who's listening, let's get a group together and embarrass ourselves. That'll be awesome.
You can go to Sun City Lincoln Hills.
Yes, how exciting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You have
I
to see
get a
that
date.
movie. You have to see it.
Okay, I'll look forward to that.
It was good. I mean, other than the cheerleading part, it was just great. I mean, not that wasn't...
Cheerleading stories. Everybody's got them.
Oh,
Tori has one. I have one. There you go.
That's
Loved
scary.
that experience. But
back to passion.
Oh my God, amazing. All right, so that was my passion then. All right, so
Okay.
we also thought it was very essential to this particular topic and to this part of the program to give you some steps, if you will, or to kind of look at it to, listen, we want you to not only discover your passion, if you're, like I shared in the book that I had provided, Barbara Scher's book, what do? I don't even know what my passion is. And then you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're totally not alone.
That was me, 7 months ago?
So the fact that comes, but it's funny because maybe to Tori's point, once you tap into that, it is boundless. And you're like, oh my God, I just feel like I hit the mother lode.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really am in touch and in tune with who I am, who I truly am and was meant to be.
Yeah.
So essential that you do it. But this is about discovering your passion or rediscovering it and reconnecting with that. So we thought we would give our 5 steps. So Tori, you want to go with the first step and tell them what that first step would be?
So the first step is be childlike. Think simply. Don't edit or try to make it perfect. Just think about when you were a child. What was that passion?
Tori and I have this thing. We're the yin to the yang. So like I told you in previous episodes, I just balls to the wall and go. Tori is more tempered in her approach and wants to make sure that she has a path. And
Planned.
we probably take each other along our respective paths, which is completely foreign to us. Mm-hmm. So when you're doing this exercise and doing that, don't be afraid to share that with somebody who might be completely different than you. Just don't allow them to take you down their path.
And influence your passion or dismiss it.
Right. But they could very well be wanting to do this very exercise with you. Yeah. So the next part of this task would be write down your 5 favorite things to do. 5 favorite things that you love to do. Here's the qualifier. When you write down those 5 things, they have to bring a smile to your face or fill your heart or somewhere tap into something that you didn't even know. Now, again, don't over edit. Don't make it perfect. If you want to write down more than 5, well, we would be thrilled. If you want to write down 30, write down 30. Yeah. But just make sure that you write down 5 things that you love to do. Love, love, love to do. And they have to make you smile as you're making the list.
Yes. And then number 3, what are you currently doing that taps into that passion and brings you joy?
Amen.
So really think about what you're doing now and if you're living that passion.
Exactly. And doing it with enthusiasm. So there might very well be, and I wanted to give you another quote because I love this picture, and I told Tori I had to show this picture. I love it so much. But do you see this little girl that's, there we go. Do I have to get that really close, Tori? There you go. Do you see that little girl? Oh my God. This picture and this message sends shivers up the backside of my back every single time I look at her because I want to be her every day. So it's enthusiasm. Put your whole soul into it. This is the quote. Enthusiasm is one of the most powerful energies of success. When you do a thing, do it with all your might. Put your whole soul into it. Stamp it with your own personality. Be active, be energetic, be enthusiastic and faithful, and you will accomplish your object. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Little girl. See that picture of her. I look at her and I just filled with joy.
I bet she was a cheerleader.
She got a tutu. Wonder if she can do the splits. I can do the splits.
I couldn't do this.
Not now. Not now. Don't ask me to do it now. That'd be just frightening.
Way too much cheerleading talk.
Was this a segment on cheerleading?
Cheerleading.
Yes.
Welcome
Yes, cheerleading.
to
101.
101.
Yay, team! All right. What is our next one? Ask family members and friends what they believe are your passions or gifts. You might be surprised. This is kind of like the adjective game.
Yes. And do they align? So do you, what your passions and joys are that you think are you have or
embody
exactly. Does that align with what your family or your closest friends see?
Sometimes it does not. And here's the thing, to that point, be careful, because sometimes it's a matter of what they want. It's their agenda. They see you as one thing, and then you see yourself as something completely different. Yeah. You have to be very careful. So the people that you surround yourself with have to be the people who support the journey that you're on. It's really easy when you're at the beginning of this to lose sight of that. And you're like you're on very unsteady ground. But if you have somebody around you and a group of people who say, nope, that's what you wanted to do, stay focused, stay the course, then you feel like I can do anything because they believe in me and they get it.
Yeah.
And if family members are those that might be distracting you from that, you're going to have to say until you get stronger and say no. And you know the way that they'll see it? When they see how happy you are and how passionate you are about pursuing it. That's when they'll be on board like nobody's business. Okay? Yes. So that's the next one. That was step 4. Number 4.
And then the final number 5 is put your passion pursuit plan in place.
Yes.
So once you've identified what your passions are, you've kind of reflected. How are you going to put that into place? What's your plan?
Exactly. And here's the deal. As bad as and as hard as sometimes this sounds, you got to measure it. So measure doesn't have to be precise. Measure how you see. What steps are you taking every day? Small, albeit small, but make sure that you're either journaling it or making a mark of it so you have something with which to reflect. I will have people constantly who tell me, Kyle, I believe in this with all my heart and soul, but I started doing this for 3 days and I stopped doing it. Hit the reset button. And you know why? Right. Don't go back. You're not back to square one. You're 3 days further than you were when you first started this whole process. So don't discount that. You got to give yourself credit enough to say, I'm 3 days farther than I was along, and you'll never be the person you were when you started all of this. Yeah. So measure it. Measure it by journaling in some way, shape, or form, or making note of it so you have a place with which to reflect, and better, when you have it to reflect, to then know where you're going to go.
Yeah, put that plan in place.
Amen. Amen. Okay, what's next, Tori, of that?
Well, one of the things that you wanted to mention was turning your shoulds into musts. And I think that's key, because a lot of times, that's even personal life, professional life. I should be working out. I should be eating healthy. I should be more creative. Instead of saying I must. I must. And that's really kind of where I was in my journey. And I kept on telling myself I should be creative. I should be using my talents for more. And that changed. The dialogue changed to I must do this. Yeah. I have to follow this passion and pursue this plan that I'm currently doing. So
it's a big one. And here's the deal. It takes should out of your vocabulary. I think, I should, I believe. Those are wimpy words. Now listen, I know I'm intense, but those are wimpy words. And if you want to do this and you're going to do it right, and this is your one chance. I'm 57 years old, so my chance is from here on out, I'm not going to go through another day without losing sight of the fact that I can take advantage of this day and do something better, not only to be the best version of me, but then to give that to someone else.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me, and you'll hear a lot of this on podcasts because my dad was my God, but he used to say to me, listen, nobody gives a rat's ass about your problems. Go in and make somebody happy, make them smile, make them laugh, and make them feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
So here's your opportunity with which to look at yourself and say, you know what? This isn't about wimpy words. This is not about wimpy thoughts. This is not about a wimpy process. I'm in it, and I'm in it to win it.
In it to win it, baby.
Okay? And then partner.
Yeah.
We talked about partnering.
Accountability partner.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We've talked about accountability before. Accountability does not mean penance. Accountability does not mean you're going to be, I don't know, you're going to be thrown to the lions. No, accountability is the following. It's a discipline. Accountability is the ability and commitment. Do you have that commitment to yourself? Listen, I was 63 pounds heavier when I started my journey with cancer. I'm 63 pounds less. I just came back from Los Angeles and hoisted a piece of suitcase or luggage up onto the weight, knowing full well it was overweight. But I threw it up there, and you know the number that came up? 63 pounds. I said, how in the world was I doing this? And I know that contributed largely to, certainly from the standpoint of me living in the life that I'm living right now, in mission remission, as I call it. But more importantly, that I feel like I'm not carrying that around anymore. So what I'm telling you is, make sure that when you're doing all of this, that you're looking at it from the standpoint of, I am doing this because I want to be the best version of me.
Yeah.
I want to pursue this with every fiber of my being. That's who I am. Yeah. Be proud.
Be proud. So we'll wrap up today, and we hope that you guys enjoyed our topics and really take into account the tasks that we're giving you, and task yourself to do these
everything
projects.
Projects. So quickly review, okay? So passion principles. So we're applying the principles of what we just talked about, right? And then we had asked you to go through and dive deep as it relates to your life. So go back to that time where there was innocence. And I don't care if you've got a good memory. I can barely think of yesterday, but then again, that's age. But if you can remember, that time and place, we just took 10 for us, for our number. But go ahead and go back to kindergarten. But then again, ask yourself those very questions. Who was I when I was 10? What made me the person that I am, and what did I love to do? Again, make sure that you're digging deep as you're going through all of that. Where did that come from? Where did it go? Right. In some instances.
Where did I lose sight of that?
Yeah. How do you rediscover that person? And then embracing your natural gifts. Sit down with someone, talk to them. What are my passions? What are my pursuits? Get real quiet with yourself, because it's absolutely essential and important. And then Tori, why don't you go over the 5 steps to discover and or rediscover your passion before we leave these fine folks.
So 5 steps. Be childlike. Think simply. Write down your 5 favorite things to do. Number 3, what are you currently doing that taps into that passion or brings you joy? Number 4, ask your family members to describe what they believe your passions are. And number 5, put your passion pursuit plan in place.
Do it. That's all we're going to tell you. Just do it. Because here's the thing. We also want to hear what you discovered through this. And we don't think it's an exercise in futility. We actually think it's an exercise in growth. And it's an exercise in making you your very best you. And that is what we would totally wish and want for each and every one of you.
Yes. So we hope that you are living your dreams and pursuing your passions in everything you do, whatever that may be.
Amen. Go get it. Giddy up.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We love being here.
Oh, we do.
Love your feedback. And like we said, follow us. Give us your topics, ideas that you want us to talk about.
And whatever you do it with intense enthusiasm. There we go.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye, guys. Bye.
As we end this episode, we want to take a moment to remind you how you can get in touch with us and get connected.
So you can reach out to me on Facebook, and I am Kyle Thompson. And again, there are many Kyle Thompson men, only one Kyle Thompson woman. So please feel free to reach out to me there. Or on Instagram, I'm 8 Carpe Diem Mama 8.
And I am Tori Barker, or Creative Marketing on Facebook. And on Instagram, I'm toribarker.creativemarketing. And for all of your marketing needs, you can visit my website at creativemarketingbytori.com.
And if you have the need and would love to reach out, I'd love to hear from you as it relates to life and personal coaching, consulting, and speaking. And you can reach me or visit my website at gustoandgo.com.